still a puzzle to determine some of this information, when they came over, but we do have the birthday. And we know when he died as well. So the question is, in coming to the United States, not knowing a word of English, or a little, and beginning to establish a new life for himself. And Marie, who married Jim Holla, married within the year after she was here in 1891. And so, and subsequently has in this book, if you're interested, I have all of the records that I had from the Holla family are included in that book right there.
Jim Holla, is he from the area too then?
Well,
was he?
Jim came earlier, 1870. No, I'm sorry, I don't know when they came over, but he was already established in farming here next to where Joe Schmolik farmed, which was in that Carroll Township. So, any questions that you might have, feel free to, to interrupt me at any time. Okay, so coming at the age of 18, or in certainly his youth, I remember, I think it was Uncle Joe or Uncle Frank that said that he first worked in a coal mine or a rock quarry to pay off the cost of his passage, his debt. So that was part of what he started in working hard, and I know there was a rock quarry near Kucera, which in Iowa history book records as a place for many Czech people went to work to establish themselves and finance their purchasing of land, and so on. So that was all I'm going on is the story, is that he perhaps worked at a coal mine, which is southern Iowa had coal mines. And I did some research on that and found some areas which they would just go in and take off the surface, the ground off the surface of the land and then mine all the coal. So it was open mining of coal was the process that they used. Okay, so how that Anton first got acquainted and why he came to this part of the country is that a lot of Czech people had come and were settling in Otter Creek, Carroll Township, Howard Township, in this area, and of course Cedar Rapids and Iowa City, Solon, and there are pockets all through this area now. And of course we're in Traer, which may have also been one of the settlements for Czech people. And being able to establish themselves, I found that Anton first purchased 80 acres of land, went to the auditor's office and checked, and we went back to 1899 when he purchased that first 80 acres. And that was after he was married to Anna Schmolik. Now the story about Anna, you know that she was a daughter of, there were 11 children in her family. Joe and Františka Mrpka Schmolik is her name, and they lived, there, which was where Uncle Mike lived, and then where Uncle Phil purchased that later, which is that area in Carroll Township, that land. And So Anna is, I think, the seventh child of 11, and so there was lots of schmoleks, and as they have become more evident, as they, families have families, and so there's lots of schmoleks, and Anna is one of them that Anton met, and somewhere along the line became enthralled in her and interested in her and interested to having a life with her. And so they courted each other. We don't know the story about that. At least I don't have any knowledge of that, what might have been shared. But Anna was 25 when she married Anton on February 21st, 1898. And so another thing that I found is that the marriage records don't jive either, age-wise, with his birth. I think it's like 2 years off when Anton married. I think he was 22 when he married. And Anna was 22. And here in her obituary, she was 25. So again, there's always a little bit of grain of salt you have to take to figure out exactly when. And then church records are the only thing that you could utilize to substantiate it, but weren't able to always write them down. And then some of the church records were lost, or a church burnt, or things of that nature occurred. So it was in 1901 when Anton and Anna made their first large land purchase, and that was in Howard Township of 160 acres, which was the farm that Uncle Phil farmed that I remember, and as we all might recall that. And on this farm there was, we don't know for sure when they moved in and settled there.